93% of students who go through FutureDoc's predictable offer protocol get at least one offer at medical or dental school. The national average, around 16%, all the way down to 2% for graduate and international applicants. And if they don't get an offer with us, we continue working with them through into the next year's cycle completely for free. My name's Dr. Ash. I'm both a doctor and a dentist, so have been through this process twice. And this program was founded almost by accident. When I was at medical school myself, I started helping with my housemate sibling who was struggling to get in and managed to help them with their application. And after that, they asked if I could help some of their friends who were international applicants, which is incredibly challenging. And from the success of that, it just escalated and more people started asking for help. And that is what led to a few years ago us founding FutureDoc in its current format and the program how it is today. As it stands today, we've helped thousands of students get into their chosen university. We've got over 35,000 subscribers now on YouTube who trust our advice. We've been featured in papers like The Times and The Telegraph who really value the advice that we give to help people get into their chosen medical or dental school. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain to you why that gap exists between the national averages and our 93% success rate, and also the methodology behind how we achieve those results. But if you would like to go into any more depth into some of the things that I discuss, check out the website homepage where we have everything that you need to go further. So everything from breaking down the elements of the predictable offer protocol. For example, if you want to find out how we achieve the results in the UCAT. Also, if you have a specific application type, like you are a first-time medicine applicant or a dentist, or if you're going as a grad or an international or a parent page, we have specific pages to speak to the challenges that you face in your certain situation. Also, we have a breakdown of how we achieve that 93% success rate that you can look at the video of me going through the numbers. And if you are sharing this decision with somebody else, whether it's a parent or a partner, I've got a breakdown of just the crux of what you need to know in a summary page that you can download and share with them so that they can get an idea of what it exactly is we're offering with the predictable offer protocol. But if you're going through this application already, I understand the struggles that you're going through. You're probably quite bright, working hard, you have good grades, but there are so many moving parts and it's really hard to understand where to put your focus on. You might not really understand exactly what a good application looks like. Is your work experience good enough? Are you preparing the way that you should be to get a good enough UCAT score? Are you choosing the right universities for your individual circumstances? These are all things that leave people a little bit overwhelmed with this nagging feeling that they are making mistakes that they're not aware of. It's that thing of you don't know what you don't know sometimes. And if you're a parent, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You're watching your child to muddle their way through this and you want to offer whatever support you can, but you feel a little helpless. You don't know the process. You don't know exactly how you can lend your support. Even doctors, it has changed so much since at the time that they applied that often they are just as clueless about it as anybody else. And they feel like being in the profession, they should maybe know, but it's changed so much that it's a completely different beast to what it was when they applied. And even schools who might offer some help, even some good schools, they don't always have the specialist knowledge that's required. Often the ones who are most confident about their ability are the ones who are missing the mark really. So that leaves parents and students with this nagging feeling that they maybe aren't quite maximizing everything they can about their application to give them the best possible chance of getting into their chosen university. And maybe one of the things that people don't understand is that there's a lot of pressure put on it because of the fact that it's a very public thing. A lot of people know that you're applying, and if you get rejected, you feel like you have to explain that to a lot of people, which adds that extra layer of pressure. So the stats tell a lot of the story, and I do a separate video that you can access of the sources from where I got these numbers. But as you can see, it's about a 16% success rate for undergraduate medicine applicants, about 15% for dentists, then around 2 to 7% for graduate applicants, and as low as 2 to 3% for international applicants. Most students treat the application as a series of separate hurdles. The UCAT, the personal statement, work experience, university selection, and interviews. They try to solve each one independently. A UCAT course from one place, personal statement help from somebody else, maybe not quite the right kind of work experience, and then choosing universities based on a few tentative assumptions. This creates a fragmented approach where pieces never add up to more than the sum of their parts, and families are left feeling overwhelmed, uncertain, and unsure whether they're even on the right track. What they don't realize is that everything is interrelated. How you shape your work experience will determine how your personal statement looks, which feeds into your interview. What universities you want to go for will determine what UCAT score, or vice versa. What people don't realize is that they are all interconnected, and pulling on one thread affects the others. But the gap is that nobody is there coordinating everything and understanding how all these pieces interconnect and how we need to manage the whole thing rather than individual pieces to maximize someone's offer chances and the strength of their application. That is the gap that is missing. The future.predictable offer protocol works differently. A dedicated coach who knows your complete profile coordinates every element of your application as one interconnected system. Every decision is made with the full picture in mind. The result? 93% of our students receive at least one offer. If they don't, they come back again next year for free. So how does it work? Well, before any coaching begins, the first thing that we do is an application diagnostic. So this is where we gather all the information about your application, everything from your academics to your background to your current level of experience, absolutely everything, and go through with a fine-tooth comb what you need to do to maximize your application to give you the best profile and chances of getting in. After that come two things: a personalized roadmap for how we're going to get you from where you are now to your chosen university. But second, it helps us understand exactly what kind of coach to match you with based on your circumstances, where you want to go, and the kind of learning style and personality match that you need to help you thrive. Your coach is selected because they've been through the same route you're taking. If you're a graduate applicant, your coach has been through the graduate entry route themselves. International, your coach has done that path. If you're a reapplicant, your coach can diagnose exactly what went wrong. In other words, they've walked a mile in the shoes that you're trying to walk. They will lead your sessions, but it's also a collaborative process. We are here to look at you and say, here's where you're strong, here's where you're weak. We need to work on these things to make sure your application is where it needs to be. But also there's plenty of space for you to tell us where you're feeling less confident so that we can do sessions or whatever's necessary to get you up to speed in all the areas necessary to build your strongest application. And of course, this is all backed up by the Predictable Offer Protocol, or the POP, which has the 12 elements that you need to build a really strong application. If you want to go through any one of those individual elements and understand the methodology behind how we help you excel in that particular area and why it's important, you can check out on the website homepage exactly each of those and an explanation behind it. But ultimately, the goal is efficiency. Every single person pretty much on the program is either doing A-levels, doing university exams, or is working full time. So we need to ensure that everything that you do is maximizing your efficiency. Every moment, every minute that you spend towards your application is on something that is going to help contribute to its success, rather than wasting time on stuff that's basically either nice to have or not really particularly contributing to the overall outcome. So really a lot of this is just us explicitly showing you what's ingrained naturally into the program and happens automatically without you having to think about it. But of course, a little bit of time will be spent on the application, but what it is there to do is to maximize efficiency, that you're focused on the core things that are going to move the needle, and ultimately saves you an entire year of having to apply again for a second time. So the way that it works is that we have two programs, the fundamentals and the gold standard. So every month on the fundamentals, you get 1 hour of individual coaching with a dedicated coach. You get all our core modules, so lots of self-guided courses that are going to give you the essentials. We'll have live group seminars going through whatever is relevant at that time of year. So it could be UCAT stuff in time for UCAT season, work experience, personal statement workshops, interview selection workshops, all the stuff that's essential. And then all the resources that you need to maximize your chances. Then we have our gold standard program, which is kind of our all singing, all dancing program. It includes everything from the fundamentals, but a lot more. So 3 times as many hours with a dedicated coach, but these are our premium coaches, and by that we mean the ones who've got the best track record and the most experience with us here at FutureDoc. You also get extra resources and videos, but most importantly, access to the masterclasses. These are like seminars that you'll get at medical school, where it's small group work, lots of interaction back and forth with the lecturers, workshops to make sure that you reach the standard required to get into the most competitive universities. On top of that, you get access to a WhatsApp group, and this is the one with the 93% success rate and the guarantee, which effectively says 2 things. The first is that if you complete the program and don't get an offer, we continue with you and roll into the next cycle so that you can go again completely for free. And the second offer is, If you are unhappy, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So it just takes the risk away from you that you can try the program. It's no questions asked. If you're not happy for whatever reason within 30 days, just let us know and you can have your money back. People ask, how long will you be with us for? So you'll be on the program all the way until the end of your interview. So typically around April time of the year that you'll start university. So about 6 months before you'll start university, probably a little bit less actually, but that's typically how long we have you to make sure that you go through the whole thing and secure that offer. But as you can see, we are giving you the foundations, not only to just get a place, but build and become the kind of person that will go on to be a fantastic student and do really well in their career beyond. The whole goal behind what we're doing is to help you become so good that it's impossible for them to deny you, rather than try and do some cheap tricks that are going to get you an offer. We've helped so many students now that we understand exactly what's needed to really become the kind of person that is very likely to get a place. And really our results come down to two things. Firstly, our methodology that you can see that I've talked about briefly and you can see more throughout the website, but also choosing the right kind of person that is going to uphold our success rate and really just go through the program as we direct them to build themselves into the kind of person that's very likely to get a place. Cost-wise, the program runs at £180 a month for fundamentals or £395 a month for the gold standard. Upfront payments are available at a reduced rate, and we will share the details of that when you apply if you are successful. So how you join is, first we ask you to submit an application form where we ask you a little bit about the details of your application, but also we want to understand your motivations and your work ethic towards achieving this goal of getting you into your chosen university. Then, if you're accepted, you would join a short call where we kind of interview you and understand those motivations in a bit more depth and decide whether we can offer you a place on the program. The final interview is really just a call to make sure that you are the right kind of fit. So come to that ready to sign up if and when you're accepted. Any information that you need beyond this to help you understand everything you need to know about the program is either available on the website, or after you submit an application, if that is successful, we will send you anything that you need over email and also access to some of the resources that can help answer specific questions that you might have. And of course, the final call is there for you to ask any further questions and speak to us about any concerns that you might have or anything that you want to clarify. It's important to realize that we have limited capacity so that we can give each individual student the attention that they need. So certain times of the year when we are busier, we will hit that capacity and be operating on a waitlist basis. It's really important for you to submit an application and really start as early as possible. One of the mantras that I often say is the sooner you start and the more time you put into your application, the stronger you will build it and therefore the higher chances of success. So make sure that you submit your application early to avoid missing out and to get your place on the waitlist. So if you'd like to apply to the Predictable Offer Protocol, there is a link below where you can submit your application, tell us about your situation and your goals, and we can take it from there. But otherwise, I look forward to meeting you and hope that we can help you on the journey to your chosen university.